Hello, everybody. Welcome into Inside Cornerstone, your weekly look at everything going on at Cornerstone, First Global Methodist Church here in Alexander City, Alabama. I'm Brett Pritchard alongside Billy Coleman. We're glad that all of you have joined us today, and we got a special guest. She's not a stranger to the show, Glenda Hill. Glenda?
Glenda's wanting to take over the show.
Well,
she has talked to me. Hey, can I do the whole show? Why do y'all have to be?
Are you the first pastor I've seen live?
Yeah.
I'm leaving, so I'll let
You're
her
behind
slide.
anyway,
Oh,
aren't you?
no kidding. I mean,
Glad to
absolutely.
have you, Glenda.
Thank you.
You're a
Always good to
person.
have you. If you're tuning in for the first time, we welcome you in. You can keep up with everything we have going on at our church. If you're watching on TV, it's cornerstone-fgmc.org. You can see that at the bottom of your screen. Obviously, we have it on YouTube as well, or actually Facebook. You can go out there and check that out. And again, if you're listening on radio, we appreciate all of you out there as well. So
Glad to have you with us, Brett.
yeah, I'm back for 2 weeks in a row.
We missed
2
you
weeks in a row.
greatly. The
So-
phone calls are relentless.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about his
Here
absence.
we go again. I'm going to write that book. I'm not going to tell everybody what the title is. I'm going to write that book here in a little bit. But we have had a lot of crazy, fun stuff going on this summer. Everybody's been busy. I mean, we're already to the end of July, which
Can't
means
believe it.
it's
can't
time to
believe
get school
that.
started back. Now, I know for bringing the flowers out here, I don't know what's going on with that.
I
But
done told you.
You obviously hadn't heard about my funeral service coming up later in the week.
yours? But we have, I mean, it's August basically, so it's time for school to start back. I know all of my teacher friends, our teacher friends out there don't want to hear that, but it is time. And but the summer has been busy, and when you're busy, it goes by really, really, really fast.
I thought last year was the fastest year I've ever seen, but this year's going to beat it. It's unbelievable.
Next year's going to beat it.
Does it get worse?
Faster and faster.
I mean, I can't take it if it gets much worse than that.
But Glenda, tell everybody kind of what's been going on. I know here recently you guys had a camp, but kind of before we get into that, tell everybody about this summer. It's been very active, hasn't it?
It has. We've had 3 camps already. 3 camps and Bible school, plus Monday Fun Day. And we have another Monday Fun Day coming up on Monday. This Monday.
On Monday.
On Monday.
Monday Fun
On
Day.
Monday.
Don't you? I love a Monday Fun Day.
I mean,
It is Monday
yeah.
Fun Day. We don't never tell the children where we're going, and
They
just-
love that. don't they?
They're like, where we going? Where we going?
Yeah,
I'm
right.
like, no, we're not
so
telling.
what are some of the places that you go?
On Monday Fun Day last time we went to Pam Peacock's at the
You been out there,
Hapaca
Brett?
Farm.
I have not.
Oh, it's so cool. That is the first time ever since my children were little, or even when I was little, our kids got to be kids. Not one kid asked for a cell phone.
Maybe everybody needs to head on that.
That was amazing
Yeah.
for me. Not
Well, what
one
goes
kid.
on at the farm? What's out there?
Oh, out there they have alpacas, they have goats, they have
47 goats.
cows.
47.
They rode in ATVs in the back of trailers. They eat watermelon. They had a
Just
great
good
time.
old summer
Summer
fun.
fun. They
They
did.
got 10 white Pyrenees dogs.
Those things are huge.
I'm telling you, if a squirrel gets in the field with the goats 200 yards away, all 10 dogs take off and chase the squirrel out. I mean, Cody didn't have a chance against those things. You saw them, didn't you?
I don't know.
The
The
great
dogs?
white
The
Yeah,
dogs.
yeah,
Oh yeah, the
dogs.
dogs. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking their kids went and on the little back of the tractor thing, and they got stuck in the woods, and which was behind it. You know, you could still hear them. Well, the man come back and he's like, "I'll go get it out later." The kids went back and got it out themselves. They were so proud of themselves that they could do that. They were hilarious.
Well, I mean, we've kind of lost that in
Yes.
society where kids go out and we had this conversation before on here
Sure.
where, you know, your parents had to holler for you, you know, when the street lights came on or if it's too dark to see, you need to be back home, but you never worried, you knew what your
Yeah.
kids were doing. And,
Oh, yeah.
You know, now you have to force people outside to do stuff like that. So
That's true.
that's good.
We've
That's really
got
good.
great children and youth. I mean, everybody in our church knows that is a highlight of the church life is young people. And this thing that you do on your missions,
Yeah.
let's talk about that because we see kids getting all the time. But we talk a lot about missions. The mission work that these children do on the day that you're fixing to talk about is unbelievable. And it's giving, not getting. Take us through that.
That was actually last week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We went to assisted living place Chapman's, and we did bingo with them. They gave them all flour. At one of our camps, we made pots. So we do one camp, and we carry that on to the next camp. So part of that went to this camp, and we took flowers to all of them. We made 45 backpacks up for the cancer center. That was great because, the cancer center people, they have to go in the morning and they stay there all day long. They don't get to go run to McDonald's or wherever. So there's things that they need there while they're there that they probably don't think about it until they're there. So we made up backpacks with chips and crackers and chapsticks and lemon drops and fuzzy, funny socks and little boxes of kisses, things for them for that. We did that. We went to Bill Nichols and played bingo with them. That was a treat, too, because one of the men were telling us when we left, can you please bring these kids back to see us? I had no idea.
And they love it.
They love it.
The kids love doing for other people. It's a beautiful thing. It's what the church is all about, and it's just really a blessing just to be around them. They'll pray without hesitation. It's unbelievable. They'll sing songs. They go out and do a mission project for this community, and it just makes you feel so proud for the kids
We
at our
went to
church.
the Herald Farm. They have it's in Kelliston. They have 2 children with Down syndrome, and that is their job. So we went to help them with their job, and just to see Hayden he calls himself the cowboy. He's Cowboy Hayden. It just to see them smile. They had a great time there. We went to where else did we do? We went to a lot of shut-ins at our church. There were some people that doesn't get out very often, and that was one of the biggest blessings ever.
It just never ends. And at our service at the Arbor, where we have children's meeting, they just kept coming down. Well, there were about 40 or 45 of them
seemed a lot.
came down for
Such a
children's
blessing.
meeting.
Such
And
a
they
blessing.
listen, and they pay attention, and they pray when called on. I mean, they have a ministry. It's unique. I've never seen a group is tuned into that. And these are young. How young do they go?
We'd have birth to the big house. But the ones that was at the mission camp were 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and 6th grade kids.
Unbelievable.
I think the theme that we've had in our church for, the last several months has been mission. We've been talking about missions, and, a lot of times you think about missions as an adult arena, whether it be international.
And we're fixing to have one of those.
Right. But, we've also had Project 412 again for the 3rd year, and, just trying to see the local part of what is needed and how many people around here are in need, and then now having the kids be a part of what we term as mission and what that really means, because I think the misnomer a lot of times is that mission, you have to travel far away, and that's not the case. And but it's been the theme of what we've discussed on this show for the last several months and again, as you're watching the show, this is Cornerstone First Global Methodist in Alexander City, but we're really more of an outreach church and involved in multiple organizations and in multiple projects that reach really limitless boundaries. And you talk about being involved, the people that are going to be going later this fall to Kenya and all that. We talked about that last week, but I think that's what gets missed a lot of times with churches, is that we show up on Sunday and we do our 2 or 3 hour weekly time slot, and then we go on about our business. And there's so many things that have to be done Monday through Saturday in life in general, and how much a church is outside of the walls of the church. The people are the church. The brick and mortar is where you gather, but the mission, what is your church involved with? I think if you're watching this we even talked about putting that on the website last week, having a tab just for all the different things that we do and are involved with. So when people go there, they go, man, what is that? I'd like to be part of that. And just list all those things and maybe a description of every one of them. I mean, it would be
And it's
massive.
doing what Jesus told us to do. I mean, these are the things that Jesus said to the church that we're supposed to be out there doing, and it's such a blessing to be able to do that. And we just have missions at all different. Well, we have the Thursday night meal. We haven't talked much about that, for a meal for the people in the community that want to come.
About the Feast of Sharing.
And I came up there and said they need a little help, and boom, all of a sudden they had 4 more people to go out and pick up food for them. And it's really a blessing to be a part of a group of servants that love doing that.
Well, Glenda, we always appreciate you coming
sure
out.
did a great job,
Hey,
Glenda.
great job this summer. I know the kids love it and what you guys do, and the passion shows. And, I remember those days when I was a kid in church, and we used to have a thing called Summer Safari, and you would go on different trips. And, I remember that. I still remember that today.
Like that,
So-
Summer Safari.
Yep, and we
Uh-oh,
had
here we
shirts
go.
made. And,
Sorry,
my
my brain's going.
but it's very similar to what you talk about
Yeah.
the Monday Fun Day. I mean, we never really knew where we were going. We showed up at church at 7:30 on that particular day, and we left on a day trip. And I still remember that now at this age. So you think, oh, they're not going to remember that, or you remember so many things that either positively or negatively impact your life. Why not fill them full of things that are positive? And again, you're making a lasting impact on these kids by giving them an opportunity to go out and do things like that. So,
I don't know if I'm supposed to say it or not, but one of the things we did that I
Well,
really...
we always say what we're supposed to say.
Oh, okay.
The bread will
Okay.
tell you that.
Well, one of the
Always.
things we did is we went to some of the elderly at our church. Because in the Bible it says you're supposed to take care of your elderly.
Sure.
But we went to them, we gave them a little flower, little sunshine baskets. We took sunshine baskets to several people. But before we could get back to church, we already had these people to call and say, hey, sometimes we are forgotten. We thought we were, but until the children showed up and,
it's
let us
amazing.
know.
Just one little thing can change somebody's whole perspective.
Plenty of opportunities.
Glenda, thank you so much. We
Thank
appreciate
you,
it.
Glenda. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
All right, we got to go to break. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
Thanks, Glenda.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Medicine Express Family Pharmacy, located conveniently at the corner of Airport Drive and Highway 280 in Alexander City, offers friendly service, convenient drive-through service, and can answer any questions on prescriptions and vitamins. Local family owned with 30-plus years of pharmacy experience, they also offer compounding services, which includes personalized hormone replacement, therapies, and pain gels. And they accept most insurance and discount cards. Go see them today at Medicine Express Family Pharmacy.
Amanda Scroggins with RE/MAX Around the Lake will cover every inch of Lake Martin's 880 miles of shoreline to find your family's dream home. Amanda's experience is top-notch, and she is consistently a top 10 RE/MAX agent in the state of Alabama. Her love for her clients is sincere and from the heart. Call her today at 256-749-6634 or visit her website, amandascroggins.com today.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Welcome back, everyone, to Inside Cornerstone. Again, want to thank Glenda for being here. And, that's another thing, that we have so many really good people at our church that,
We do.
that, I know that are employed by our church, but then also those that aren't employed by our church that really really give back, really do a lot to make sure, everybody's experience is top notch. And so again, we always, and we fail to do this every week for a lot of times, is that we want to obviously extend an invitation to anybody out there watching or listening that may be looking for a church home, or would just like to visit. Maybe you have a church home, but you'd like to visit and see what we're doing. And the doors are open. And again, we're not trying to recruit somebody from away from a church. We're just saying that our doors are open if that's an opportunity for you.
We were talking here a while ago, Brett. I believe we had more visitors Sunday than any Sunday that we've had yet. It's right here in the
like 50-50.
It's right. It was close, and we're right here in the middle of the summer, and people are coming to church. And let me say one more thing about the kids, because I know we want to get to our youth a little bit. They got a big event coming up too. Brett, they listen. I am telling you, they listen. The 5-year-old, the 4-year-olds, the 10-year-olds actually listen. I know that because I'm the one that's up there getting to see all of that, and they're sitting there paying attention, and they're spiritual. They go out there. They don't mind praying for the people at their homes. They'll sing to them. They enjoy it. They love it. They want to go back. It's a really wonderful blessing in our church. And like you say, you can't just thank Glenda's great, but you just can't thank Glenda and David and all of that. There's a lot of people that are working to create that spirit. It's in everywhere. It's everywhere you go.
Yeah, I know this sounds like a broken record, and we've said this a bunch, but the life of your church, if you want to know how healthy your church is, look at the youth program.
No doubt.
Look at look at the amount of kids that are involved in your church in multiple facets and multiple areas. I would say that Cornerstone has as active or more active youth group and children's ministry than any church I can think of around here. And there's a lot of great churches around here that have great youth programs and great children's ministries, but I think nothing rivals what we have at Cornerstone. And we had a youth Sunday not too long ago, and basically the whole show was run by our youth, and the whole service was from start to finish, from the planning to the execution to all of that. And I still say, and it probably was one of the most powerful services I've ever attended ever in any church, was what they were able to put on. It went over so flawlessly, and just to see the talent level of
and the sincerity.
Well, yeah, but just how talented these youth are, from the production of the play they put on to the music and the singing and the playing of the band, and then Laura getting up there basically delivering the message, which blew me away. I mean, like probably one of the best delivered messages I've ever heard of any age, anybody.
Right, that's right.
And so you got that, and then then you had the artist that came in that finished the service, and but again, I don't know anybody that walked out of there really with a dry eye. They were just so overwhelmed with emotion of happiness and just what the future looks like, and how proud everybody was. And I don't think anybody was, I think everybody was on the edge of their seat and very attentive and very just involved.
And they're going to be doing another service in October, the youth are. And our boys will go to Hardee's when school starts, and on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock we'll lead a Bible study for any boys that want to come from Benjamin Russell. Our girls will go to Chick-fil-A, and they will start a Bible study for any girls from Benjamin Russell that want to be a part of it. And on Thursday, the 7th of August, we're going to start a new Bible study for all the female athletes. The girl athletes are going to come to, I think that's also going to be at Chick-fil-A, and we're going to actually do a program for them on Thursday mornings at 7, reaching out to youth. And most of the leadership from that is our own youth doing it.
Again, I'm blown away, and we talk about Glenda, we talk about David, and just everybody that's involved with. I remember growing up. Again, I know I keep flashing back, but you remember your youth directors and those
Of course.
that were heavily involved and very influential and, made a difference, were there to listen when you needed somebody to listen to you and to kind of talk you through,
Right.
some tough times.
Sure.
And, always there to lift you up and do that. And so, we have a lot of kids that come to our church that they're not members. And, a few of the ones that we just talked about that helped organize and deliver the service last time weren't even members.
That's right.
And aren't even members, but they're part of our youth program and they show up during the week. And, again, I've said this before, back when church league basketball was at its height, that was a ministry. Yeah, it was a lot of fun for guys that, or past their prime and want to get out there and play a little basketball and bring other,
And
maybe
that's not dead either.
No, it's not.
We're thinking about that. I don't.
Okay.
Mark my words, it may take us a while as we continue to pay off our debt, but it's coming. I mean, that's going to be a part of our ministry as well.
Well, again, the reason I brought that up is that I remember a lot of guys being exposed to Bible verses,
Of course.
and
Like FCA supposed
well,
to.
right,
Yeah.
testimonials and
Yeah.
and devotions that they never would have gotten if they didn't come play basketball.
Oh.
Because we used to close we didn't close out the games, but when we practiced, we would close out practice with like a devotional, and so. Just a great opportunity.
As much as Legacy Builders supports Fellowship of Christian Athletes more than any other group around here, FCA's got a great ministry for athletes. And, of course, we just recently, Brett, as you know, we just bought a bunch of new vans for the church, $200,000 pretty much worth of vans. Why? Because we want to take our youth to these trips. You got to have a bus. You got to have some nice vans. We want our parents to know that their child is going to be in a safe vehicle. We're going to take them down. And next week, we're going to take them to Florida. And
they got a trip
and I
coming
get
up.
to go down there and speak to them on Friday, and they'll have a great time down there. And it's just a tremendous thing. They all look forward to it. It's right before school.
Right.
They get down there and have a great trip. It's going to be great. They're constantly doing stuff, and it's good stuff.
I was going to say, there's really not a week off.
No, there's not.
And, sometimes you can't be part of certain things and your schedule might not work out, but you got so many things planned throughout the summer that you don't really ever feel like you miss out on.
And there'll be 20 adults that go down there to chaperone those kids down there. They go to Florida, and it'll be it's called Impact Weekend, I think.
Right.
And it's going to be super good.
And I know you look forward to always going down and talking. I know
Drive by myself back at 2 in the morning. It's
Well,
awesome.
Be safe. I mean, I don't like not to bring up anything that.
Well, I like to do a commercial for Blue Frog. Can we do that? I mean,
you
I ordered Blue Frog, and it's really a great.
You've got the floor.
I'm
mean,
not- I wouldn't do it.
There's the camera. It's on you if you want.
Well,
to
David Hand has a little smart aleck in him. Of course,
Really?
we all know
I've never
that.
seen that.
We know that. So I get lost in there a couple of years ago, see. And David Hand looks at me.
Lost driving to
We're
Florida.
we're on the phone. He says, "Hey, I'm going to drop you a pen." And I said, "David, I don't have a pen. What are you talking about?" He said, "I'm going to drop you a pen. You'll know how to get here." Well, that
thought
went
you
in
were-
one ear and out the other.
You think an ink pen?
I don't. That's the kind. Well, it could have been a stick pen. I don't know what kind of pen it was.
Are you expecting?
How's it going to get me to
were
the
you
place
expecting
where I'm
some
going?
kind of pen to fall out of the air?
Well, he did mention that possibility, but I don't
okay.
know. He's just making fun.
Well, you made it. And look, I know last year wasn't.
Yeah, I
there was
made
some
it.
tragedy that went on, and I know
That was awful.
That was tough.
That was.
But I again, there was good that came out of that because
Yeah.
I know we read the letters on the show of the kids and
Yeah.
kind of their experience and what they.
We live in a real world that has tragedy in it, and God's up there for us as we try to deal with it, for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So I guess the lesson of that is that you get exposed to certain. Everything's not always roses out
Life
there.
is fragile, for sure.
Well, yeah, and there was a learning moment.
Oh,
there,
of course.
and I
Yes,
think
definitely.
that's kind of what gets taken away from that.
Yeah.
But to kind of close out this segment, summer's always a lot of fun, and again, you want to have. I don't know what our numbers are. Do you know how many youth we have? I mean, really on a regular basis.
We got about 60
I was
going
gonna
on
say,
the
isn't it about
trip.
60?
Yeah, I would say you can add another dozen that can't go on that trip. Probably 70 to 75 youth.
A solid youth program. Then David really works hard to.
Does.
And again,
and he's got a group. I mean, he's got 20 people helping him, just like you
right,
said at the beginning of the segment. A lot of people are involved in the youth ministry, and he's very selective and goes through a great
one
process.
person can't do all that.
No,
I mean, it's just you not be as impactful as you want. Them
no.
to be.
Well, you know, Glenda mentioned Shireen a while ago, who loves kids and is great with kids, but you know, Shireen and a lot of other ladies help do that. We're making a new ladies room in the Arbor. Have you heard about that one?
I haven't.
See, you ain't even heard about that.
I haven't even heard about
it's,
that.
We're going to take that.
I'm the host of the show, and I didn't even know.
We're going to take a room upstairs and make it a ladies' room, and I don't
Okay.
mean a restroom. But it's a ladies' room. It's got a bunch of books for ladies, and that's where the Bible studies for ladies will be. A Sunday school class for ladies will be. Cornerstone women will meet there. It's just a room that will be very welcoming to ladies. Not that other people can't use it, but it's a great place to have a women's Bible study, that kind of thing.
That's great. I think that's
Yeah.
awesome. So, all right, we're up against another break. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Amanda Scroggins with RE/MAX Around the Lake will cover every inch of Lake Martin's 880 miles of shoreline to find your family's dream home. Amanda's experience is top-notch, and she is consistently a top 10 RE/MAX agent in the state of Alabama. Her love for her clients is sincere and from the heart. Call her today at 256-749-6634 or visit her website, amandascroggins.com today.
Medicine Express Family Pharmacy, located conveniently at the corner of Airport Drive and Highway 280 in Alexander City, offers friendly service, convenient drive-through service, and can answer any questions on prescriptions and vitamins. Local family owned with 30-plus years of pharmacy experience, they also offer compounding services, which includes personalized hormone replacement, therapies, and pain gels. And they accept most insurance and discount cards. Go see them today at Medicine Express Family Pharmacy.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Welcome back to Inside Cornerstone. A couple segments left in the show today. In the last segment, we will have some of your message. That
We've been doing the 10 Commandments,
Right.
Brett. I know we've missed you, but you can go in there in Exodus and you can read exactly what we're doing. I think we've said this before, but
Right.
we start at the Arbor. We go from 10 down to 1. Then we go to Green Street. We start from 1 and go to 10. And
Pastor
last
Joe
week, everybody met right there, at 5 and 6.
Right.
And so we took one more step, and I got to talk to Green Street about thou shalt not murder. So I got into some controversy. Let me tell you, I got to tell you something.
What
When
would-
you do that one right there, you're glad it's over, because that message, and I don't pull any punches. I hit all the controversial subjects when we talk about that, and I'm not trying to influence anybody. I'm simply trying to say, have you thought about this? And so you got that going on, and then now they've passed thou shalt not murder. And this week at Green Street, it'll be thou shalt not commit adultery.
Okay.
And, there's a great message to that. And it's not the physical one. It's the message all through the Bible where God talks about the adulterous generation that turns their back and they cheat on their partner, in this case being God. And some really neat stories out of there. It's nothing about, thou shalt not commit adultery physically, we get that, but it's a spiritual adultery thing, and it's really a powerful thing.
We talked about it last week. The Ten Commandments really are the baseline of how you should live your life. And it's very blunt.
Yeah. Our judicial system is based on the Ten
No,
Commandments.
it absolutely
It
is.
is,
But
yeah.
I think a lot of people, again, I said this last week, get caught memorizing something and not diving deep into what they really mean. I know I said that last week. I won't go back down that path again. But the Ten Commandments really are the baseline of how you should live your life. And if it's stepping on your toes a little bit, it probably
they do step on your toes.
Every
one of them.
And
the Arbor did honor thy father and mother.
Yeah, right.
Which is not about Mother's Day and Father's Day. It is about the system that God set up of one generation respecting the next and being obedient to what God said. Obedience is a big part of the family. We had the children and the youth to stand up in the service
I was told.
and talked a little bit about honoring our parents. And not that they're all honorable. All parents are not honorable.
But I remember somebody telling me that you brought that up. You got the youth to stand up and you said, "Hey, look, there's bad parents out here in the world, and there are, and that don't do and lead by the example that
Right.
they should." So, again, it's not meant to, but sometimes you gotta hear the message. You know what I mean? You gotta be able to understand that. Hey, look, if you feel like you're getting the finger pointed at you, it's probably getting pointed at you, not intentionally by the person delivering the message, but we all have things, in our lives we got to work on and we got to clean up, and there's no perfect human on earth. And
That's right.
If it bothers you, you've got one or two choices. You can either figure out a way to fix it and go down the right path, or you can get resentful and confrontational and come up with a bunch of excuses of why you're doing what you're doing that shouldn't be getting done. I mean, it's really that simple. It's one of two. It's one or two paths you can take.
Let me give you a quick example of one of the messages. And I've tried all my life never to be political. And I don't think I was political in this one, but the thou shalt not murder thing brings up some political questions.
Sure.
And I didn't avoid them or anything like that. But let me give you one quick example. In the state of Wyoming, there's a certain species of bear. If you kill it, then you're going to pay a $50,000 fine and serve 1 year in prison. If you kill a bear, you're going to be in prison for a year and pay a $50,000 fine. In the United States of America, in 2023, 1,137,000 abortions were made, and nobody went to prison, and nobody paid a fine. So if you kill a bear, you got this. But if you kill 1,137,000 kids, nothing. Now, what does that say about what's important?
Well, it says priorities is the first thing that comes to my mind.
It's hard. Yeah, those are hard sermons. Capital punishment is a difficult thing to approach. But I do not think Cornerstone's congregation, and I don't think the congregations of this country want us to beat around the bush, play games. They want to hear the truth. Then you make the decision. You decide what you think you want to believe in. Don't believe in something because I say it. You believe in something when you think, you read the Bible, you go through a thought process, and you decide what's important. That's what we should be doing.
I mean, again, going back to, that stat, and I think this has kind of been, I deal in sports every day.
Sure.
I'm on a sports show
Yeah.
every single morning, and there's so much resentment on how the structure of sports and the road it's going down.
Right.
And what we place importance on, what we don't place importance on, and we're losing, especially in the college side, we're losing really what has been the standard for so many decades in this country is you go to college to get an opportunity to better yourself, and yeah, you want the best opportunities, and if that's money involved, whatever, that's fine, but we've really sold ourselves out to be all about the dollar in sports now. It's like nothing else matters. No loyalty matters.
Yeah.
No commitment matters. It's about how much are you going to pay me? And look, I understand that in a capitalistic society, go out and make as much money as you can. Do the best you can. God gave you talents and abilities to go out and use. But it goes back to that, and then that stat you gave on having our priorities in society all screwed up and losing the foundations of how we got to where we are. And I know that's a word salad kind of what I just put out, but I don't know any other way to sum it up without saying it maybe that it would be very hurtful to some people out there, is that we as adults, and we've had this discussion, Coach, it's our job as adults to kind of lay the groundwork for what the kids need to follow.
Yeah.
Well, if we aren't doing our job of laying the groundwork in an adequate way, if we're saying, no, it's okay to want that, it's okay to allow that to happen, if it's okay, then you're raising a generation of people that now that's the new norm.
Of course.
And I think, like with the toothpaste out of the tube scenario with the sports analogy, I think we're too far gone to reel it back in now. Now you're spending your time trying to figure out how to adjust what you're wanting to do and to make it right for everybody. And I don't know that anybody has an answer.
We were made in God's image. In God's image, right?
Right.
I love bears. I love Yogi Bear and Boo Boo. I used to watch them all the time on TV. But Jesus didn't die for Yogi Bear or Boo Boo Bear. He died for humans who were made in God's image. And that needs to have some influence and power in every decision that we make. It's God's
And it's hard,
image we're made
like
in.
you said, it's
I love animals, but
well,
come on.
it's hard to preach on the Ten Commandments without bringing politics in, because all of this, a lot of these things are politically driven, and
Oh, they are.
and abortion's one of those, if not one of the most all-time politically driven topics in this country.
It's probably number one, I believe.
And
probably.
being pro-life or pro-choice,
Right.
and are there instances where there should be times that
And
you
certainly
have,
there are.
right?
Yeah, I
exactly.
get that. Yeah, right.
But I think it's kind of like when you look at, and I remember doing this lesson in Sunday school when I was doing the Sermon on the Mount, and I just preached from the Bible. I read from the Bible. I didn't preach. I read from the Bible, and there were some people back in the day that got their feelings hurt and said some things to me and said some things to the preachers about the Sunday school lesson. And I said, look, all I'm doing is reading what God's word is, and basically I'll just sum it up. I don't mind. It revolved around divorce, and it talked about basically they were like, well, we've been divorced and we don't appreciate. I said, no, nobody's calling anybody out about getting a divorce. I think what it says in the Bible is, at the first sign of any type of animosity, don't just throw the towel in and run in the other direction. Don't give up completely at the first sign of conflict. You got to work through things, and when you get married, there's going to be good and there's going to be bad. You got to be able to work things out as a couple. I think there are obviously times where there's no other way out but divorce. And there's times that people are in an abusive
Well, I mean,
relationship
that's
or something
right.
like that where
Sure.
you can't just say, well, it says in the Bible you don't need to get a divorce. You just live with this person that just beats you to a bloody pulp.
And it also says, husbands, love your wives like Christ loves the church.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So there is no cookie cutter,
No.
big everybody in a bowl
No.
explanation. I mean,
That's right.
you cannot
That's right.
get your feelings hurt when people and everybody tries to tiptoe around these topics.
Yeah.
When you just say, look, let the Bible be your guide.
And we're not going to do that.
And we're not. And I mean,
No.
again, if somebody takes offense, look, that's life. People split up. They get divorces
Mm-hmm.
all the time. All it's saying in the Bible is give it everything you got first
Yeah.
before you throw the towel in. That's what he's saying.
Jesus said, don't even look at a lady with lust in your heart. He takes it even further.
Right.
He makes it harder, not easier.
Very, very much so.
Good.
So,
Appreciate your thoughts, Brett.
well, Coach, we've got another segment coming up, a clip of your sermon from this past week. So everybody stay tuned. More to come here on Inside Cornerstone. Right
God
after
bless
this.
you.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Medicine Express Family Pharmacy, located conveniently at the corner of Airport Drive and Highway 280 in Alexander City, offers friendly service, convenient drive-through service, and can answer any questions on prescriptions and vitamins. Local family owned with 30-plus years of pharmacy experience, they also offer compounding services, which includes personalized hormone replacement, therapies, and pain gels. And they accept most insurance and discount cards. Go see them today at Medicine Express Family Pharmacy.
Amanda Scroggins with RE/MAX Around the Lake will cover every inch of Lake Martin's 880 miles of shoreline to find your family's dream home. Amanda's experience is top-notch, and she is consistently a top 10 RE/MAX agent in the state of Alabama. Her love for her clients is sincere and from the heart. Call her today at 256-749-6634 or visit her website, amandascroggins.com today.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Once again, I want to thank you so much for being a part of our service today. It's been a tremendous blessing today. It's been a blessing talking about the last 5 or 6 weeks about the 10 Commandments. I've learned a lot, and I think that we have ignored them too much in the life of the church. It is the foundation of the United States, of our judicial system. It spells out exactly what we're supposed to be about. And you guys started at the top, and went down. And the arbor started at the bottom and goes up. Y'all passed last week, by the way. Today, they had a message very similar to what you had last week, that you should honor your father and mother. And you are going to share in some thoughts on the same commandment that they had last week, which is thou shalt not murder. So let's take a look at that. It's Exodus, as we know, the 20th chapter, and just one simple verse, verse 13, thou shalt not murder. And we pray that God will add his richest blessing to the reading of his word, to our thoughts, to the presentation that he leads me to make, and pray that everything would be totally for his glory. Let's pray. Amen, and thank you. We've got some visitors, I think, that are probably listening to us live stream today. I had the pleasure of going to a little Baptist church up in Blount County named Fowler Springs Baptist Church, a very active church. And I shared there this past Tuesday and Wednesday. Long drive. I mean, it's 2.5 hours probably. But it was so powerful and so strengthening at a time, honestly, when I needed it. It was a blessing. They said they'd be watching today, so if you're out there watching, I really do appreciate it. 36 years in a row I've gone up there and shared with them. So obviously I knew everybody there pretty much, and we had a lot of great conversation, and I told them about you guys, and they're so supportive. It's unbelievable. Now, they wanted me to tell the bunny rabbit story, so you know that captured my heart, and the bear story, where I wrestled the bear. They wanted to hear them both. And we were talking about some things there, and I said, some of you already know this, but when this service is over, I'm going to Clay County, and I'm going to speak at a Baptist church. And I'm officially their Baptist pastor. And so I was talking to them up there in Blount County about that. And so this little lady comes back. She obviously has a friend that's in the Global Methodist Church. And she said, I told my friend that you're probably you said you were the only pastor that has a Baptist and a Global Methodist. And she said, he can't do that. And I said, you send her word. I'm doing it. So anyway. Well, this ought to be easy, right? Don't murder. See ya. It's really not that simple. Not that simple at all for one thing. And let me say this, and I've never had to say this before in my lifetime, not in the 36 years that I went to Blount County for sure. I take a lot of effort not to be political in any message that I give. I think that's your job and my job to consider what we think about issues in this country. It's not my job to try to persuade you to change your mind. This is a free country, and you make your own decisions on that. But there are going to be some elements of this sermon that are going to make you think. That's really the only purpose of it, is to make us think on this. So let's kind of get started with this. The first thing we need to remember, a couple of principles we need to remember, is that we were made in God's image. Of course, that's true in all of them, right? But we were created. There came a time when God decided, and it was in Genesis 1:27, He created man in His own image. In the image of God, He made them. Male and female, He made them. So when we talk about this commandment, whether you want to call it killing or murder, that's up to you. But whatever it is or whoever it is, it's God, it's someone that was created in God's image. So we have to take that in mind when we talk about the sanctity of not taking someone's life, if that's at all possible, because they were made, of course, in God's image. And the other thing we need to realize is that everybody matters. I mean, we've taken that little phrase and turned it into phrases for this group or that group or this group. I want to give you a new phrase. You matter. You matter to God. Not because you're in a group, but because you're His creation, and you matter. So this commandment obviously has a whole lot to do with that every person ever born matters. Now, the Jewish people had 7 different words to stand for kill. And the one that they choose to use here is rasak. And rasak means murder. So actually the commandment that used to be thou shalt not kill, if I'd been up here 15 years ago with the Bible, I'm pretty sure the Bible would have said thou shalt not kill. But the actual Jewish interpretation of that word is thou shalt not murder, which brings all kinds of interesting discussions in potentially to this message. Now, I love animals. Most of you love animals too. I've been accused of removing the animals at this church by trap, which is true, okay? But I want you to know for the record, we took those animals, those cats that we were afraid was going to scratch the kids at Jacob's Ladder, and we took them to a nice farm with a whole bunch of rats. And so they're out there having a blast. But I love dogs, I love cats, I love animals. But this doesn't apply to those things. Jesus Christ did not die on the cross to save the dogs of the world. He died on the cross to save God's creation of man, us, when he did that. So the discussion that comes in has to narrow it down to this. We're not talking about birds or slapping a mosquito. We're talking about people when we talk about this commandment. And this commandment is about people. Now, we've got a little farm over in Clay County, and I took the grandkids, put them on the back of the mule, riding them around. They were younger, a lot younger then. And we have a camera down in the bottoms that takes a picture of the animals that come by. And we have quite the group of pictures that come from that, by the way. And so we came down there and we looked at a place where there was some corn out in this field, and we had a camera there. So I went and looked at the camera, and on it was a very, very large male black bear that had been there 15 minutes before we were there. And so the two grandkids got scared. They said, that was right there? And we said, yeah, that was right there. He said, well, we want to go back to the farmhouse. I mean, they were scared and frightened about that. So I went to a game warden, and I wanted to get the record straight. I said, we had a picture of a big black bear at our farm, and I got grandkids. I said, now, what am I supposed to do if that bear decides he wants to check out the human choices that we have that day on the farm? And he said, well, Billy, I just want to tell you, you need to be careful. And I said, what do you mean? He said, because you're going to pay a fine, and you could even lose your truck and go to jail for shooting that black bear. I said, let me just tell you something. If that black bear comes after one of the grandkids, I'm going to shoot it. And there's not going to be any question about that. So we had this nice little argument that take place. And I know what you're saying. You're saying, why in the world are you telling us this story? I'm telling us this story because at the root of this commandment is very simply what's important. What do we put a price tag on in this discussion? What is important here? Let me tell you something that's unbelievable. If you're in the state of Wyoming, there are certain bears that are under, they're considered to be very few of them left. So they've got some stiff laws about messing with them. They're protected, that's the word, by law, right? If you are in the state of Wyoming and you kill one of these bears I'm talking about, you're going to pay a $50,000 fine and you're going to be put in prison for a year. Now, this discussion is about what's important. I need to repeat that. If you kill one of these bears, you're going to pay a $50,000 fine and you will be put in prison for a year. Now let's take that and put this with it. In 2023, in the United States, there were 1,037,000 abortions. Now, if you kill a bear, you're going to go to jail for a year and pay a $50,000 fine. But if you kill a baby, it's no fine. So the question becomes, what are we saying is important in that discussion? And there's some reasons. I get them. I really do. I get it. In the case of a rape, there's some compromises that need to be reached. I get that. I understand that too. And if it was a mother in danger of losing her life, yeah, I get that too. I know that I would make a decision concerning that if the wife was about her life was in danger and a decision had to be made. I get that, but I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about those extreme cases. I'm talking about 1,137,000. And we have to come to some grips with exactly what that means. And that'll be the only time I'll ever mention it in a message. But you cannot talk about thou shalt not kill without talking about some of the issues that we have to face in this country, and where are we on that? And that's your call, not mine. I'll make my call and you make yours. I'm not here for any other reason than just to mention that. But it is a frightening statistic, I think.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Amanda Scroggins with RE/MAX Around the Lake will cover every inch of Lake Martin's 880 miles of shoreline to find your family's dream home. Amanda's experience is top-notch, and she is consistently a top 10 RE/MAX agent in the state of Alabama. Her love for her clients is sincere and from the heart. Call her today at 256-749-6634 or visit her website, amandascroggins.com, today.
Medicine Express Family Pharmacy, located conveniently at the corner of Airport Drive and Highway 280 in Alexander City, offers friendly service, convenient drive-through service, and can answer any questions on prescriptions and vitamins. Local family owned with 30-plus years of pharmacy experience, they also offer compounding services, which includes personalized hormone replacement, therapies, and pain gels. And they accept most insurance and discount cards. Go see them today at Medicine Express Family Pharmacy.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.